A Parent's Guide on Alcohol, Substances and Drug Abuse. The Canadian Don't Do Drugs Society is a nonprofit organization. Kids are our future, and we owe it to them to do everything we can to ensure that they know the facts about the terrible effects of alcohol and drug abuse. Child rearing is one of the most important tasks anyone ever performs, and the one for which there is the least preparation. Most of us learn how to be parents through on-the-job training, and by following the example that our parents set. Today, the widespread use of alcohol and other drugs that subjects our children, families and communities to pressures are social challenges that did not exist 30 or 40 years ago. Frankly, many of us need help to deal with this frightening threat to our children's health and well-being. Recent surveys show that we are making progress in our national battle against some drugs. Casual use is declining, attitudes are changing, and we know more about what works to prevent drug use by our young people. As parents, we can build on that progress in our own families by having strong, loving relationships with our children, by teaching standards of right and wrong, by setting and enforcing rules for behavior, by knowing the facts about alcohol and other drugs, and by really listening to our children. Every family has expectations of behavior that are determined by principles and standards. These add up to values. Children who decide not to use alcohol or other drugs often make this decision because they have strong convictions against the use of these substances, convictions that are based in a value system. Social, family, and religious values give young people reasons to say no and help them to stick to their decisions. Here are some ways to help make your family's values clear. Communicate values openly. Talk about why values such as honesty, self-reliance, and responsibility are important, and how values help children make good decisions. Teach your child how each decision builds on previous decisions as one's character is formed, and how a good decision makes the next decision easier. Recognize how your actions affect the development of your child's values. Simply stated, children copy their parents' behavior. Children whose parents smoke, for example, are more likely to become smokers. Evaluate your own use of tobacco, alcohol, prescription medicines, and even over-the-counter drugs. Consider how your attitudes and actions may be shaping your child's choice about whether to use alcohol or other drugs. This does not mean, however, that if you are in the habit of having wine with dinner, or an occasional beer or cocktail, you must stop. Children can understand and accept that there are differences between what adults may do legally and what is appropriate and legal for children. Keep that distinction sharp, however. Do not let your children be involved in your drinking by mixing a cocktail for you or bringing you a beer, and do not allow your child to have sips of your drink. Look for conflicts between your words and your actions. Remember that children are quick to sense when parents send signals by their actions that it's all right to duck unpleasant duties or to be dishonest. Telling your child to say that you are not at home because a phone call comes at an inconvenient time is, in effect, teaching your child that it is all right to be dishonest. Make sure that your child understands your family values. Parents assume, sometimes mistakenly, that our children have absorbed values even though they may be rarely or never discussed. You can test your child's understanding by discussing some common situations at the dinner table. For example, what would you do if the person ahead of you in line at the theater dropped a dollar coin? Our next video will be about setting and enforcing rules against the use of alcohol and other drugs.